Hi everyone, it's Natasha and this is Friday Funbits. I'm going to try to keep it light even though there are some serious things I want to talk about. So first I wanted to share with you guys, for those of you who follow me on Facebook or who see my information on Facebook, you saw pictures I posted of Chester in his Ghetto e-collar, which is Elizabethan collar, and it's used for dogs to prevent them from licking their wounds after surgery. So I didn't have one, so I made one. So Tuesday morning at 2:47 we heard Chester licking, and he has that hot spot we're trying to heal. So I went down to my office and I grabbed 2 sheets, and there's some dogs. There you go. They're just letting you know where they are. 2 sheets of Sizzix extra large dye packaging. Mosey, enough! And 4 eyelets. And Moses, enough, honey! And I put the smoother side on the inside so you wouldn't rub him, because you know how sometimes the outside, the splintery part, can be rough. And I stapled on one of these. I know it doesn't look clean now, but I've been putting new ones on. We have a whole pack of them. I think they're from Costco. They're cleanup rags. You can wash them and instead of using paper towels. So I put a brand new one on and I stapled it to the inside. So, and the way I knew how to make the dimension for him is I took his collar off and I made it just ever so slightly larger than the collar so I could squeeze it over his head. So now when he sees this coming, he just walks over to me and gives me his head, and well, you saw the miserable look on his face, but he knows it's making him feel better because he's not and I think Polly let him outside with it once. So I'm just going to replace because this is just stapled on, I'm going to replace the cloth. But that's his little Ghetto e-collar, for those of you who wanted to see it. And the reason it's kind of dog-centric today is sadly my sister has had to bring in their family dog to be euthanized today. He is, I think he's 13 or 14 years old, and he has had horrible quality of life for some time, and they have been real troopers by taking care of him and cleaning up after him. But she found damage on his body that's beyond repair, and finally made the very difficult, heartbreaking decision to stop his pain. So thinking of her made me think of all of our dogs. You know, they're all aging. Chester is turned 10 in April. Mushka's going to be 10 in December. Moses is going to be 7 in December. So we try to take the best care of them as we can. So what I'll do later is I'll make a card to send to the family, especially for the kids, because they are so attached. They were so attached to this dog, Zeus. They called him Zeusy. And this was a rescue my sister and her husband took in when he was already 6 years old. So he's had a second chance at life, and they've given him a fabulous home and wonderful, loving family with kids to play with. It's just that lately he has been in pain. You know, when an animal's in pain, they're just not themselves. So this will bring them some closure, and unfortunately there probably won't be another pet there for a while. But I told her to give me a call when she's done with the appointment, and she wasn't sure whether she was going to stay or just drop him off. And that's again, really difficult decision. When we had to euthanize our cat Oreo, we dropped him off and we sat with him for a while, and then my husband couldn't bear to be there, so I left with him, and we left his basket and blankets and everything for them to use on other kitties that they needed to once they washed them. So anyway, now that I've bummed you all out, but you know, this leads me to difficult decision making. Every day there is something you know, you just never know when you're going to have to make a really difficult decision, so you want to be able to be prepared, be knowledgeable, not make decisions that are life-altering in haste, which led me to the lighthearted part of today's video. I was feeling unwell yesterday, and I was kind of soaking in the tub, and I didn't have my Kindle with me because I was charging. So I spied this book on we have a little shelving unit in the bathroom. My husband picked this up at a tag sale. I think I might have shown it in a haul, but let me tell you, I never really picked it up because I thought it was kind of a funny title, The Worst Case Scenario Almanac History. And apparently this is a whole series of books. This one it's from Chronicle Books, by Piven, Borgenich, Merchant, and Wagner. So it sounds like a couple of friends got together, and I think they're all out of Pennsylvania because I read a little of their biographies. So I laughed out loud, even though I was feeling like crud. I literally laughed out loud. So what this is, and if you ever get a chance to pick one of these up, it's really quite hysterical reading, and you don't have to sit down and read it from start to finish. But this one's history, and they have various ones, and I'm gonna go check out the other ones. It's just, I have to show you an example. How to fend off a saber-toothed tiger. I realize it might not be applicable in the modern day, but it was very funny to read. There's also information about the Ice Age and Trojan horse. How to escape if you're sealed inside a pyramid. Find the king's sarcophagus. Stand facing the sarcophagus. Make a pickaxe. Carve around the slab. Diagrams. Even gives you diagrams. I literally had like a belly aching guffaw. Did I just quote Mitt Romney? How to defeat the Egyptian chariot in battle. It's broken down into chapters of various ages. How to build a battering ram. I realize this is something you might find useful. It's really, really funny read, and again, doesn't have to be read from cover to cover. How to survive an asp bite. You just never know, do you? And I think some of this is really written with tongue-in-cheek, using facts and history. Surgical instruments of ancient Rome. Doesn't this look like a bottle opener? Wow. Yeah. Caligula. I'm not even going to touch that chapter. How to survive being thrown to the lions. Now, I've been to the Colosseum in Rome, and when we were there, you were still allowed to go into the catacomb part. I know it's been that long. I'm not sure whether they do that anymore. And it's pretty menacing in there. Those must have been some fat lions. Romans teach Attila how to defeat them. Attila the Hun. Dungeons and Dragons. So it gives you an idea. I laughed. Genghis Khan. How to treat the bubonic plague. Well, let's see. Act quickly upon appearance of symptoms. Death occurs in most cases 2 to 4 days after symptoms are recognized. Untreated plague is fatal in 30 to 75% of all cases, so time is of the essence. Bathe in human urine and wear human excrement. There you go. Place dead animals in your house. Use leeches. Drink molten gold or powdered emeralds. Eat figs before 6 in the morning and do not exercise. There's also a disclaimer in the beginning of the book not to try the things. But these may have been the recommendations at the time, which really, and there's a disclaimer. Be aware, symptoms of bubonic or black plague include high fever, shivering, rapid pulse, breathing rate, exhaustion, nausea, vomiting, aching joints, chills, diarrhea, muscular pain, headaches, mental disorganization, giddiness, intolerance to light, a white coating on the tongue, delirium, lymph nodes swollen to the size of chicken eggs, especially in the groin and thigh region, pustules, and eventually internal bleeding that causes blood to dry under the skin, blackening the flesh. Symptoms will appear within a week of exposure. In non-fatal cases, the fever will begin to fall in about 5 days and will be normal in about 2 weeks. And there's even gear what doctors would wear in the plague. Let's find something a little more uplifting. I don't want to end the video on how to warn the town of invasion. Animals extinct by 1800. Dodo bird, extinct in 1681. Stellar sea cow, slow-moving creatures first seen in the Bering Sea in 1741. The species was extinct by 1768. Saddleback, what the is that? Giant turtle native to the island of Rodriguez in the southwestern Indian Ocean, hunted to extinction in 1800. Yeah, it does seem like we're gonna have a hard time finding something. How to lead an army across a river without being noticed. I know these aren't funny, like it's not a funny thing, but Benedict Arnold. Oh, look, how to fight with a musket. How to win a fight with bayonets. Maintain eye contact with opponent. Make constant, unpredictable movements. Growl. Growl. Literally. Start in the attack position. Thrust bayonet. Strike with musket butt. Smash with musket butt. And there's even little diagrams. Let's see what else funny things we can. I mean, there are tons of these. Sweatin' to the oldies. Industrial Revolution, 1769 to 1900. Maybe there's something fun in here. So it gives you a little synopsis, which are these are facts. I don't think they really. It's written tongue-in-cheek, but I don't think that they fabricated facts. I think what they did is they used facts, and then facts at the time, like the how to avoid, you know, the plague. That may have very well been what people were being told. Look at the Louisiana Purchase, $15 million for 800,000 square miles. Madison Avenue cost $231.5 million, equivalent of $15 million in 1803. 368 square feet. Wow, that was a bitter bargain. How to circle the wagons. Oh, look at this. Britain forces China to legalize opium. Again, I could probably go, how to cover up the discovery of the mother lode. Say nothing. That's always key, isn't it? Hide your gold. Make a show of poverty. File another claim. Sell something else. You can often make money supplying prospectors by panning for gold, corner the market in critical products. Shovels, pans, lumber. If there's ever another gold rush, although there is, isn't there a bunch of shows on Learning Channel on TLC? A gold rush. How to repair shoes without leather. Canvas. General George Armstrong Custer. How to survive as a child laborer in a coal mine. Wow. Heroin introduced as non-addictive painkiller. Respiratory treatment. That's true. Chinese rebels take a stand against foreigners. You sank my battleship. This is funny. I did see a couple of these. How to survive when your ship hits an iceberg. A la Titanic. Look at that. There's the drawing. It tells you need to cross your arms over your chest, bring your knees to chest, and cross your ankles. I love that her shoes remained on. Maintain body heat in the held position. I didn't know that that's what that's called, but there you go. So, how to survive in a trench. Gives you an idea. And then there's more recent, like Capone and Hitler, Stalin, two very similar men. Devastated. How to defect from the... Well, this is interesting. How to defect from the USSR. That's where I'm from. Let's see. Give the impression of being loyal and committed communist. Avoid drawing attention to yourself while planning your defection by appearing beyond reproach. I was a young pioneer because it was a requirement in school. In 4th grade, you became a young pioneer and you wore a red scarf to school every day. So I was technically in the Communist Party as a child, but really, you know, you're going to hold a 10-year-old accountable for something they were forced to do. Develop your talents. Ballet dancers, ice skaters, hockey players, circus performers, Olympic athletes, and members of the symphony and choir all tour outside of the USSR, an opportunity that presents the best chance for escape. Slip away from your handlers during a sightseeing trip, and in the nearest police station, declare your intention to defect. Moscow on the Hudson. Anybody seen that? Join the Foreign Service. Approach a Western diplomat and tell him your intention to defect. Make sure no one can overhear you. Many embassy employees are actually agents with the CIA, and your message will quickly get to the proper levels. Follow instructions from your assigned handler, but resist agency demands to remain in your current position and run as a double agent. It's funny that they mention this. When I was in high school, and I was in high school in the late 80s, mid to late 80s, we had someone come to our school that was running a government program for what was called listeners. They were looking for native speakers at the time in Arabic and Russian and Chinese. There was a 12-month program, I believe it was in California somewhere, and they met with me. Actually, I think the principal told them about me, and it was a long story. They met with me. I don't remember if they met with my parents, but I kindly declined. Join the Soviet Air Force. Fly a jet to a friendly country, Japan, Switzerland, and request political asylum. You may also be likely to succeed if you're flying a plane that is interesting to the Western officials, such as a MiG-29, MiG-31, or Su-27. That's helpful. Steal stuff. When defecting, try to blend in. Okay, this might be a good one to end on, so I'll read the rest of it, and this will make the Friday fun bits. Bribe officials. This I know works, because when we were leaving Soviet Union, my mother, my sister, and I had hidden in our clothes all sorts of things that we could bribe officials along the way with. Caviar, vodka, and coral, natural coral, necklaces, earrings, you name it. I think my mother bribed the guards at the exit point, which I think was Chop, where we took the train into Austria. And I remember her pulling up her skirt to get the jars of caviar that were tucked into her, like the old-fashioned version of Spanx, whatever that is. I know you're probably yelling it out to the screen, but yeah, I know that works, because money talks. Offer money to government officials or guards at checkpoints in return for foreign travel papers or identity cards. Make sure you know that the officials are likely to cooperate before offering the bribe, or you may be shipped to Siberia or put in prison if you talk to the wrong person. That's also very accurate for the time. Not now, obviously. Go under the wall. Using contacts in East Germany, locate a building attached to a tunnel under the Berlin Wall. Such tunnels are discovered and filled regularly, so opt for newer passages that have recently been completed. Be aware, defecting is least risky for unmarried, childless person, as family members remaining in the Soviet Union may be sent to a gulag. Well, luckily my entire family left at the same time. My grandmother, my parents, my sister and I, and then my stepfather's family left shortly thereafter. Famous Soviet defectors: Svetlana Ulyeva, writer of Joseph Stalin's daughter; Mikhail Baryshnikov, ballet; Viktor Balenko, pilot; Anatoly Kuznetskov, writer; Alexander Malugny, hockey player. Oh, Rudolf Nureyev. He was in, he played kind of a bad guy, a sleazy guy, in The Money Pit. I think that was him. Sadly, he passed away. I think I'm thinking of the right guy. Now I'm gonna have to do some research. So there you go. Oh. Well, that was fun, right? Hopefully. And I probably can find... Oh, how to passively resist. Do not actively resist. So, hopefully that made you guys laugh. If you're interested, it's called The Worst Case Scenario Almanac. This one is history. They have several others. This is from 2006. Oh, there's a listing of which worst ones they have. Okay. Book for every disaster. Worst Case Scenario Survival Handbook. Travel, dating, and sex. Well, that one could be hysterical. Handbook on golf, holidays, work, college, weddings, parenting, survival questions, extreme edition, and life. I love that the dog's eating the homework right there. Oh, and they have like box sets. Oh, so very fun. So the website is chroniclebooks.com/worstcase. I have not gone to the site, so I'm not sure whether it's still there. Hopefully it is. Or worstcasescenarios.com for updates and new scenarios, because you just never know. Alright, that's a good time to end. So the question for today is hard decisions. What's the last really difficult decision you had to make? And I'll share mine below as a comment as well. If you want to do a video response, that would be fabulous, or you could just leave comments below the video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a fabulous weekend.